You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump faces one humiliating defeat after another, based on an article by Sarah K. Bayers. Trump is losing because institutions are finally saying no. The surface story. The source reads like a running tally of Donald Trump's setbacks, bad polls, caught losses, a failed attempt to pry into reporters' phone records, a dropped subpoena fight at Penn, and a stalled media merger tied to MAGA-aligned wealth. That is the context. The real story is not that Trump is unlucky. It is that he is running a government shaped around coercion, self-glorification, and retaliation, increasingly running into institutions that still have enough spine to say no. Power is the point. Trump holds the presidency. That is the actual institutional power here, and the article's framing partly obscures that by treating his defeats as a personality problem. They are not. They are the result of the White House using state power to punish enemies, harnessed private data, bent public institutions to personal ends, tariffs that squeeze ordinary people, Treasury money funneled into monuments and tributes, and legal demands aimed at reporters' families are not random blunders. They are choices. They reveal a presidency that understands governing as extraction and spectacle. Courts are not confused. The judges are not misunderstanding Trump's schemes. They are identifying abuse and blocking it. The New York Times phone record fight, the election roll subpoena push, and the Penn subpoena all point to the same pattern. The administration tries to turn federal power into a surveillance and intimidation machine, then acts shocked when judges call it what it is. The Justice Department being rebuked repeatedly is not a technical hiccup. It is evidence of an executive branch testing how much constitutional damage it can get away with. The article is strongest when it accidentally shows the real battlefield. The courts are one of the few remaining sites where Trump's appetite for domination still meets resistance. Billionaires, media, and capture. The media consolidation piece matters because it shows how authoritarian politics travels through money. The attempted Warner Bros. Discovery deal, with a Trump-friendly billionaire at the center, was never just a business transaction. It was a power play over what Americans can see, hear, and inherit as public reality. State attorneys general and a public campaign from the media and entertainment world forced a pause. That is not triumphalism. It is proof that capture can be delayed when institutions act before the merger of wealth, media, and presidential favor becomes irreversible. The deeper point is ugly. Trump does not need to own every outlet if his allies can consolidate enough of the information environment to make accountability optional. Democrats and the Democratic coalition. The source mentions Democratic governors and state AGs as the actors who helped stop the media buyout. That matters. In a political system where Trump's faction uses the federal government as a weapon, Democrats are not decorative opposition. They are the institutional counterforce standing between democratic life and open capture. That does not mean Democrats should get a medal for doing the minimum. It means the party's central job is not messaging theater or procedural niceties. It is to use power aggressively enough to block authoritarian consolidation, punish corruption, and defend the public record from predation. When they do that, they are not merely playing politics. They are performing the basic function of a democratic coalition. The pattern is escalation. The article tries to narrate a string of failures. The larger pattern is more revealing. Trump's politics depend on escalation until someone stops him. Surveillance demands, retaliatory subpoenas, racialized targeting, legal intimidation, media capture, and treasury plunder all belong to the same project. It is a project of personal rule dressed up as governance. The important question is not whether Trump is winning or losing this week. It is whether the institutions around him keep treating each abuse as an isolated episode instead of what it is, a coordinated effort to make state power serve one man, one faction, and one grievance machine. The country is still paying the price for every moment those abuses were minimized as noise. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article. With the automated voice of Norman, thanks for listening.